Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome back to another video. Today I'm gonna be showing you guys how to create your very own Gamepass shop from beginning to end. I'm gonna show you guys how to create the objects that we are gonna give to the character. I'm gonna show you how to create the Gamepass in the Roblox side, and we are gonna go through all the process. But before we do that, go ahead and hit that like button, hit subscribe, and let's get right into it. Okay, we're gonna start with a completely empty base plate, and the first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna go to Storage GUI, we're gonna insert an object, and we're gonna go ahead and create a screen GUI. We're gonna go ahead and rename it to Shop GUI. Then inside our Shop GUI, we're gonna go ahead and insert an object, and it's gonna be a frame. Okay, so the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna change the name of the frame to Shop Frame. And then we're gonna go ahead and change the position. So we're gonna do 0.5, and then we're gonna do 0.5 again. There we go. We now have it in the middle. So let's go ahead and change the size. We're also gonna do 0.5 and 0.5. There we go. You guys can see it's not exactly in the middle, so we're gonna go to anchor point, and we are also gonna set that to 0.5 and 0.5. So you guys can now see the anchor point is in the middle, so the shop is gonna be in the middle of the screen. We also wanna make the shape of the frame square, so we're gonna change the size constraint to relative YY. And you guys can now see it's relative to the size of the screen. Actually, let's change the size to make it a little bit bigger. 0.7 and 0.7 again. And yeah, I think that looks better. We're also gonna change the color, so let's do green. I think that looks good for a shop. And perfect, we now have our shop frame. So we're gonna go ahead and insert another object, which is gonna be a text button. Again, we're gonna be changing the position or the size first. So there we go. We're gonna make it 0.1. And 0.1, so we have a little square. We're gonna change the position to 1, and we're gonna change the anchor point to 1. That way we have it in the very corner. Perfect. Okay, this is gonna be our close shop button, so let's go ahead and change the text to X. We're also gonna tick this box, the text scale box, so we have a big X. And we're gonna change the color to red. Let's actually make it a little lighter. There we go. And that looks good. Let me actually change the text color to white. I think that's gonna look better. And perfect. Another thing we could do is that we could go to the text button and we could go ahead and change the text too. Let's see if we can find a good text. And yeah, I think this one is pretty good. So yeah, we have our close button now. So the next thing we're gonna do, we're gonna be creating a new object. So we're gonna go to insert object, and we're gonna insert another frame. We're gonna make sure this frame is inside our shop frame. So now we're gonna change the size. Let's make it 0.5 and 0.5 again. Let's go ahead and change the position to, remember guys, we're gonna have to change the anchor point again. So we're gonna go up there and we're gonna change it to 0.5 and 0.5. There we go. Okay, so now let's make it bigger. Oh, there we go. Let's change the size. Let's make it 9.9. And yeah, I think this is good. So we're also gonna need to change the position. So let's try with 6, maybe 55. There we go. That looks good. This is gonna be our list frame. So let's go ahead and change the color to black. And let's do background transparency 0.5. I think it looks good. And well, yeah, let's insert another object. It's gonna be a text label, and this is gonna be our title. So let's change the size again. There we go. There we go. Let's make it, yeah. We're gonna change the position to 0.5. Remember the anchor point, make it 0.5, 0.5. We're gonna move it a little bit down, a little bit less, maybe a little bit more, and that's perfect. Okay, so make it a little bit less big. We're gonna go to text, or maybe text scaled. Then we're gonna change the text to Gamepass Shop. We're gonna change the background transparency to 1, and then we're gonna go to the text font, and we're gonna change it to our font, which is Fredoka 1. There we go, everything's looking good. And we're gonna change the name of this to list frame. There we go, this is gonna be our list frame. And then inside our list frame, we're gonna go ahead and create another object, which is gonna be our Game Pass button. So we're gonna go to create object, and we're gonna go to image button. There we go. And for our image buttons, we're gonna be using a grid to position them. So we're gonna search for UI grid layout. We're gonna insert it inside our list frame, and we're just gonna add another image button just so you guys can see how it works. If I remove it, you guys can see it's not automatically positioned anymore, but when I add it again, we have our 2 image buttons. Next thing we're gonna be doing is inside our grid layout, we're gonna be changing the cell size. So we're gonna be changing the cell size to 0.4. Let's see how that works. Maybe 0.3. And then we're gonna change the other one to 0.3. There we go. Maybe 0.32. So make it a little bit bigger. There we go. And we're also gonna change the padding a little bit. So we're gonna make it 0, and then let's just add a little bit. So 0.01. 0.01. There we go. Okay, so now let me just add more image buttons just so you guys can see how it works. So you guys can see our grid layout automatically orders our image buttons, and it makes it look pretty cool. Next, let me add some UI padding, just so we don't have the button frames actually touching the walls of our list frame. So we can have a little bit of space. We're gonna change it to 0.01, 0.01, 0.01, and 0.01. This is gonna be to all the sides of our padding. And you guys can see there is a little space in between our frame and the walls now. So inside our grid layout, we're gonna make sure the vertical alignment is set to top and the horizontal alignment is set to center. You guys can see everything is centered. Let me go ahead and remove the images, and there we go. We can see we have our centered image button. Okay guys, so now is the time where we actually start thinking about our game passes, and the first thing we're gonna look for is our item. For this tutorial, we're gonna be using an ice cream. So you can go to the free models, look for an ice cream, and pick the one you like. I'm gonna pick this one. It's gonna be sent to my starter pack. So if I open it, I'm just gonna make sure it doesn't have any malicious scripts. I'm also gonna change the name to ice cream. I'm gonna remove everything that I don't need, which are the scripts and everything else. I just want the handle model, the handle part, I mean. There we go. And we're gonna send it to our replicated storage. Perfect. So now that we have our item, we can go ahead and change the image of our button. So we're actually gonna go, let me go and look for an ice cream image. Let's see what I can find. Actually, for those of you that don't have an image, you can actually go to the free models. You can go to the free models. You can change the models to image, and you can look for an ice cream there. So let's see if we can find a good one. Let me try this one. Copy the URL and paste it inside your image button inside the image property. There we go, paste it there. And you guys can see we have our ice cream image now. We're gonna change the background transparency to, actually let me change the image because I don't really like it. Let me try with this one just for the tutorial. I'm gonna change it. There we go. And let's change the transparency to 0.2. Yeah, I think that looks good. But I think our button would look better with round corners. So let's look for UI corner. We're gonna add it inside our image button. And you guys can now see we have round corners in our image button. So now we're gonna rename our image button to ice cream. There we go. And now we actually have pretty much everything ready. So we can go ahead and go back to Shop UI, insert an object, and we're gonna be creating our first local script. I'm gonna change the name to Shop Script. And we're actually gonna start scripting our first lines of code. So we're gonna do script.parent.shopFrame, there we go. And we're gonna look for our close button. Close. Oh yeah, we actually have to change the name of our close button to close button. So we're gonna do that. We're also gonna change this to title. There we go. And now we can access it through close button. There we go. We're gonna do mouse button one down, connect, function, and open our function. Inside there, we're gonna do script, parent, shop frame, visible equal false. So whenever someone clicks the close button, it's gonna make the shop invisible. So let's go ahead and test it. So yeah, you can see our shop is here. If we click the close button, it's gone. Okay, it's working perfectly. Okay, so now that we have that ready, we're gonna actually create our shop button. So we're gonna create another text button inside our main shop GUI. We're gonna name it shop button. We're gonna change the size. There we go, 0.1, maybe 0.05. That looks good. Change the position like that, and just a little bit. There we go. Make the text scaled. Okay, change the name first to shop and make the text scaled. There we go. We're also gonna change the color of the text to white. Let's change the button background color to green, just like our shop. But actually, I prefer how it looks with black text. So let's just leave it like that. We're gonna change the font to Fradoka 1 again. There we go. We now have a shop button. But let's actually add our UI corners to the button, just like that. UI corners, and there we go. There we go. That looks a little bit better. So now we're gonna go back to our local script and we're gonna make that button work. So we're gonna do script.parent.shop button, shop frame. No, actually we're gonna need to do shop button. Gonna do mouse button 1 down, connect, function, and open the function again. Side there, we're gonna do script parent shop frame visible equal true. There we go. So let's test it again. Let me just look for it, and yeah, let's test it. Let's see if our buttons work. So we can close the shop. If we click the shop button, there we go. We can close and open our shop now, which is pretty cool. Okay, so we got our open and close buttons working. So the next thing we're gonna make is our Game Pass button work. So we're gonna go back to our local script, and below the scripts we already wrote, we're gonna do script parent shop frame list frame. We're gonna look for the ice cream button. We're gonna do mouse button 1 down, connect, function, and open it again. So whenever someone clicks that button, we're gonna bring our Game Pass pop up. So for that, we're gonna need the marketplace service. So we're gonna do game, get service, marketplace service. There we go. We're gonna need that. And then below that, we're also gonna need the player, which is game, the player, local player. Now we're gonna go back to our script. We're gonna do marketplace service, prompt Game Pass purchase. There we go. We're gonna use our player, and we're also gonna be using our Game Pass ID. So here's where the Game Pass ID goes, but we do not have a Game Pass ID yet because we have not created a Game Pass. So let's put it at the top, ice cream ID. It's gonna be 04 now. So let's go ahead and create our Game Pass. Let's use ice cream ID here. There we go. And yes, let's create our Game Pass first. First thing we need to do, we need to go to game settings and we need to publish our game. So for this tutorial, I'm gonna name it Gamepass Shop Tutorial. There we go. We have all the settings and we're gonna create it. Perfect. So we now have a created game. If you go back to game settings, you can see you now have a lot of options there, which means we have a successfully published game. So now we're gonna go to the Roblox website. In the Create tab, we're gonna click it. We're gonna go to our game, and we're gonna create our Game Pass. So let me just search for it. Okay, let's go back. Okay, you're gonna click the little gear and you're gonna click Create Pass. There we go, yeah. So inside here, you can create as many Game Passes as you want. So I'm gonna find an image for my Game Pass, which is gonna be a badge icon I have. You can use any image you want for your Game Pass. And we're gonna change the name to Ice Cream Game Pass. And it gives you an ice cream. This is gonna be my description. When you're done, you can click preview and verify upload, and that will publish your Game Pass. So we're gonna click on it. Actually, let's click on the gear and click configure. Here we can see our image. If you go to sales, you can put it for sale and put it on any price you want. Let's do 50 for now. Perfect. So as you guys can see, you get the 70% of your sales, and we now have a published batch. So we're gonna go back to details and we can see our published Game Pass now. So we're gonna copy the ID, which is at the top of the search bar, We're gonna copy that and we're gonna take it to our local script, and that is gonna be our ice cream ID. So we're gonna paste it there, and now we have an ID. Okay, so now that we have everything ready, we can go ahead and test it. So if we try to buy our Game Pass, there's gonna be a prompt which is working. It says you already own this item. We click it again. Yeah, it says we already own the item because we created the item, but this is gonna be different for other players that don't have the item yet. So it's actually working, don't worry about it. Congratulations guys, we have everything ready on the local side of our scripts. So now we're gonna go to server script service and we're gonna be creating a script. This script is gonna be our player added script. There we go. So we want that if a player buys a Game Pass, he keeps the Game Pass. So we're gonna check when a player joins, we're gonna check if he has the Game Pass or she, and if he or she does, then we're gonna give it to him. So we're gonna do game players, player added, connect, function, player. This is gonna check when the player joins. Then we're gonna do player character added, connect, function, character. And this is gonna check when the character loads. So inside this, okay, before that, let's do local function load ice cream. This is gonna be our load ice cream function. This is where we're gonna check if the player has the Game Pass. So here, yeah, we're gonna check if player already has the Game Pass. Just a little note. So this is what our function is for. Inside, we're gonna do character, player, character. There we go. We're gonna do local has pass equal false. So the default value is that the player doesn't have the pass. So we're gonna do success message equal pcall function, and we're gonna open the function. Make sure to write this exactly as I am doing it, guys. It's really important. So has pass equal marketplace service equal user owns Game Pass. This is where we're gonna check it, and we're gonna get the player user ID and the Game Pass ID, which we're gonna copy from our local script and paste it here. There we go. Ice cream ID. There we go. We're gonna check if our player has the ice cream ID. Then if he does or she does, we're gonna do has pass equal true. Then we're gonna do equal true. We're gonna do local item. We're gonna look for our item, game replicated storage. Find first child ice cream. There we go. As you guys can see, we have it in the replicated storage. We're gonna clone it, and we're gonna set the parent of the item to the player backpack. So whenever the player joins, if the player has the Game Pass, he's gonna get it on his backpack. So we're gonna call our function when the character loads. So we're gonna do local ice cream and load ice cream player. There we go. Okay, so we can test it now. So we should already have the Game Pass. So we should get the, okay, I did something wrong. Let me check that real quick. Oh yeah, make sure the P in parent is capital case. There we go. Gonna test it again. And yeah, as you guys can see, when we join the game, we already have the ice cream because we already own the Game Pass, because we created the Game Pass. So yeah, it's pretty much working. So if you buy the Game Pass one time, you're gonna get it every time that you join the game, which is exactly what we want. But what happens if the player doesn't have the Game Pass yet and he or she wants to buy the Game Pass from the shop and get the item from that exact moment? Well, we're gonna need to create another script for that, which is gonna be purchase finish script. That's how we're gonna call it. And we are also gonna be needing we're gonna search in Google for prompt Game Pass purchase finished. We're gonna search for this. I'm gonna leave the link in the description for you guys just to make it easier, because there is a piece of code that we are gonna be using. So this basically checks whenever someone already bought a Game Pass. So we need to receive that call, and inside our script we're gonna paste this piece of code, and we're gonna be removing this. And inside the three dots we're gonna change that for player, for purchased pass ID, and for purchase success. There we go. So we're gonna get the player, the ID, and the success call. So we're gonna check if the purchase was a success. If it was, then we're gonna open an if statement. Then we're gonna check if the purchase pass ID is equal to our ice cream ID. So we're gonna copy it again, and we're gonna paste it here. There we go. We're gonna check if the ID is equal to that ice cream ID. So that means the player bought the Game Pass. There we go. Then inside this we are gonna do local. We're gonna, okay, the player bought the ID, we're gonna give it to him. There we go. So yeah, we're gonna clone the item again, and we're gonna put it in its backpack. Perfect. Okay, so everything should be working now. So let's actually go ahead and create a server just so we can have 2 players and see how it works. Let's see if our Game Pass is actually working in a real server. So let me just wait for it to load. There we go. We have 2 characters, as you guys can see, and we're gonna see if we can buy the Game Pass. Okay, so let's open the shop. Let's say we want to buy the Game Pass. Third-party items sales have been disabled. Okay, we gotta clean up first. There's something we gotta do. We're gonna go to home. We're gonna go to game settings, and inside permissions or security, we're gonna allow third-party sales. We're gonna click that, and we're gonna save. Yeah, just that, save. After that, we can try again and go ahead and create the local server. Okay, so now let's say we open the shop, try to buy the Game Pass, and our prompt is working now. Let's say we buy it now. Purchasing, complete. There we go. We close it, and hey, we now have our ice cream. Okay, guys. Okay, we are getting things done here. This is pretty exciting. We are getting it to actually work. So if we try in the other local server, we can actually buy the ice cream too. So hey, now the 2 Ponchos have 1 ice cream, which is pretty cool. Our Game Pass shop is working perfectly. So if you got to this point, congratulations guys, because you got the hardest part done. This time, now it's kind of an extra. I'm gonna show you guys what to do in case you wanna add more Game Passes. So we're gonna go to our list frame. We're gonna copy our image button from the ice cream. We're gonna paste it, and let's say we want something else. Let's say we want a sandwich this time. So we're gonna change the name of it to sandwich. We're gonna look for a picture. Remember, it can be any picture you want, guys. We're gonna copy this one. And we're gonna change the image of our button to the sandwich one. There we go. So this is gonna be our second game pass. Now we're gonna go to our local script and we're gonna do sandwich ID. So we're gonna need the ID of this sandwich. There we go. And okay, so we're gonna go ahead and create another game pass. We're gonna go to create again, to create pass. We're gonna add, I'm gonna be adding the same image, but it can be any image you want, guys. And maybe in the description, this game pass gives you a sandwich. Perfect. Yeah, we're gonna publish it. There we go. And oh, I actually got the name wrong, so we're gonna go to configure and let me change the name to sandwich, maybe healing sandwich. Yeah, I think that's cool. Let's name it healing sandwich. That's gonna be our game pass. We're gonna change the price to 100. Remember, you only get the 70%, so we're gonna save that. We're gonna go back to create. Let me just go back there so we can get the ID. We're gonna click on healing sandwich and we're gonna take the ID from the bar at the top. So we're gonna paste it in our sandwich ID variable. And now we're gonna pretty much do the same. So we can copy and paste this and we're gonna change ice cream to sandwich. And we're gonna change this ice cream ID to sandwich ID. There we go. Now we're gonna go to our player added script. We're gonna be copying all the function. Okay, actually let's copy our variable first, the sandwich ID. Then we're gonna copy all the function. We're gonna paste it and we're gonna change the name to load sandwich. Let me check it. We're gonna change the ice cream ID to sandwich ID. And we're gonna look for sandwich in the replicated storage. Perfect. And okay, replicated storage. I think that's it. Oh, we actually need to find a sandwich for the tutorial. So let me take this one. Let me make sure it's clean. Gonna change the name to sandwich. Remove the scripts and everything else I don't need. Just gonna keep the handle and I'm gonna put it inside my replicated storage. There we go. So now, okay, now it should work. So we have that. It looks good. Now below load ice cream, we're gonna do load sandwich player. Perfect. Okay, now the last step. We're gonna go to our purchase finished script. We're gonna copy the variable again of the ID. We're gonna paste it here. And we're gonna add to our script. So in the if statement, we're gonna add else if purchase pass ID equal to sandwich ID. Then we're gonna copy this and paste it. And we're gonna change the ice cream name to sandwich. So if the player bought the sandwich ID game pass, then it should get the sandwich. So let's go ahead and test it. Okay, we have our two players. Let's say we buy the sandwich or let's buy the sandwich game pass first. And we have the healing sandwich. As you can see, if we buy it, it should work. And yes, we got our sandwich. Congratulations, guys. We now have 2 game passes, which is great. And you can add as many as you want. Let's say we want to buy the ice cream for the other character. Let's see if we can get it. And yeah, the ice cream is working too. That's great. Let's say we want to have both game passes. There we go. We have the ice cream and the sandwich. Good job, guys. Okay, these game passes should last forever. So if you reset the player, Okay, it's not actually working because we are testing in Roblox Studio, but in the real game it should actually load your game passes if you reset the character or if you die or whatever, because you already bought the game pass and it's probably gonna detect it. So this is gonna be it for today, guys. I hope this tutorial helped you. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know in the comments what else can we make to have better videos, and I'll see you next time. Okay, bye bye.